You will never be productive without mastering this one criteria. How do you expect to sit down at your desk to be disciplined and have the mental fortitude of someone who's productive without a strong mind? Everyone understands that you need mental strength to avert yourself from distractions and get focused on the task you need to complete. You need to have this resilience in your mind. The hardest working people in the world, the Alex Hormozis, the David Goggins, Albert Einsteins, they all have one thing in common, and it's this mental fortitude of strength. They all have the resilience in their mind to keep them enacting the work they need to complete and to stop the distractions from seeping in. In today's video, we're going to be going over the tactics and techniques to build a strong mind. This will be the base of your productivity. This will be the core of your discipline, and I hope you find it useful. Hello, I'm Dylan. I'm 18. I turned lazy people productive using tactical techniques and strategies that changed my life forever. I went from someone who spent 5,000 hours playing Call of Duty and other such video games to someone who effortlessly and easily breezes through large banks of his work, my business, education, and personal development goals. And I wish to help you get the same result too, using tactics like building a strong mind. So we're going to get straight into it. There's 4 habits that I believe will build a strong mind, and if you implement them using the actionable tips I suggest, you will become productive in the long term. So number 1, obviously going to the gym. I do believe the body is the reflection of the mind. So if you want to have this strong mental fortitude, then you need to have the physique to back it up with it. It's also to do with the mental image you have of yourself. Are you going to believe you're productive? Are you sitting overweight, with all due respect, on a sofa in these dirty clothes that you don't see yourself as someone who's productive? Or are you going to dial in, lose the weight, get the physique you've always dreamed of, and then you're able to imagine yourself as productive? You're able to look in the mirror and see the hard work and discipline actualizing through your physique, which then motivates you and makes you more productive as a result of the image you see yourself. You will see yourself productive. You will see yourself disciplined when you put the hours and hours into training your physique to look better. It's a tangible actualization of your discipline that you get to see day to day, which every time you look in the mirror and you see your physique getting better and better from the hours and hours you're putting into the gym, you will build this confidence in your mind that you are productive, and this will build mental strength, resilience, and discipline to make you productive in the long term. So having these mental calluses, having this image of yourself that you are productive based on the amount of hours you've put into grinding your physique and doing the hard things even when you don't want to do them, this will add to your self-image and then make your mind strong. So now we've covered the basic of your physique and the gym as a habit to consistently improve the strength of your mind. Now we're going to go from an internal perspective. Meditation. See how meditation is going to build the strength and fortitude in your mind is because when you're meditating, the thoughts come in, they distract you, you get unfocused on your breath, and then you teach yourself to come back to your breath and get back into what you're supposed to be doing. And this going from distraction to what you're supposed to be doing is an incredible way to build strength in your mind, because the application of meditation and this constant distraction to focus to distraction to focus progressively overloads the strength of your mind, because you will get better. You'll get better at ignoring the distractions and continuing the focus on your breath. And then this correlates and applies to your work. So when you're in your work, you're zoned in, you're completing it, your phone pings in the corner. If you've taught yourself to ignore the distractions and focus on what you should be doing via meditation, this internal strength will be beneficial to your productivity because you'll be able to focus better. And this mental strength, this mental consistency will be useful in productivity. Furthermore, it's an incredible habit to get into because you can see the progress. It has this kind of metric-based system where you can record how long you do your meditation session for, how long you go without getting distracted and becoming unfocused, and then you can improve, you can progressively overload. Say for the first session you do 10 minutes, it was terrible, you were distracted every 30 seconds. The next session you did 10 minutes again, but you were distracted every 45 seconds. You have this tangible metric that's quantifiable to see the progression and progressively overload from, therefore improving the mental strength of your mind over the long term. Coming from a neurological standpoint, learning will build the strength in your mind. As statistically, the more you learn, the better you are at remaining focused. And this is because in order to learn effectively, you need to be focused, and having this consistent effort and focus will make you productive because you'll progressively overload again. Also, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that works your focus and engages your attention on certain topics and tasks, will increase in ability over the long term of consistent effort towards learning. Because if you sit down consistently for say 2 hours per week trying to learn something new, this effort and attempt at learning something new will train your prefrontal cortex to be more focused, active, and work better in attentive work. So you consistently do 2 hours every single week, 2 hours every single week, 2 hours every single week. Eventually, your prefrontal cortex is going to get so good that when you sit down to do the learning, you'll have an extra degree of attention-based focus, and this will build this mental strength and correlate to success in other areas. Because if you can do it in learning, you can do it in your work. And the prefrontal cortex is the scope of attention. It's the scope of focus. So if it applies for learning, it'll apply for your productivity in other aspects, such as your work, your education, your studies, your revision, whatever you need. You'll build up this mental strength in your prefrontal cortex, the reticular activating system. Also, these two mechanisms that make you focused on work neurobiologically will improve over consistent effort, and learning is the task to do that. Learning is the actionable task because there's a few reasons. Number one, if you're learning about things you can enjoy learning about, then it's going to be fun. You're going to have fun, and it's a productive habit to get into because number one, you're having fun. Number two, you're generally putting effort and strain onto your mind while learning information that might be applicable in later life. So learning to build mental strength is very beneficial and will correlate to more success in your productivity and the ability to focus better in work. Finally, consistency will build mental strength. If you take the steps from the other parts of this video where you learn 2 hours a week and you meditate for 10 minutes every single day and you go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, but you only do it once. If you only do it for one single week, you won't see the results of the mental strength, and you won't reap the rewards of the extra focus and the attentive, effective, productive skill of being able to sit down at your desk and dial in on work you need to complete. You will not receive that result without compounding consistency over the long term. If you do it for one single week, yeah, you'll feel a little bit more productive. Maybe you'll build up a slight productive habit, but you need to think long term. You need to think, I'm going to do this for the rest of your life. That's where consistency comes in. There's a few reasons also why this is so great for building mental strength. Number one, streaks. If you have a habit tracker, which I have one in my productivity planner, which is linked in the description, you can write down what you need to complete. Say it's 10 minutes of meditation every single day. You take it off one day, you take it off the next day, you take it off the next day, you take it off the next day, and then all of a sudden you have this tangible visual representation of your efforts, which physically builds a connection between you and the mental strength you've developed. If you can see on your list you have for 3 weeks straight meditated 10 minutes every single day, is your mind going to feed it this image that you are unproductive? No, you're going to have this image of yourself that you have this mental strength, and it's going to correlate to actualization. You'll be able to focus for longer because your mind and the image your mind's feeding itself is aided by this streak of the productive habit you've been completing, and this will build mental strength by pure statistical accountability. So I think consistency, having a streak that you're able to visually see the results you're putting in, see the effort you're putting in, will build mental strength and build confidence in your mental strength, which will then actualize in extra focus in your productive work. This stack of proof will be very, very beneficial in your productivity because you'll be able to change the image you have of yourself in your mind. And this will increase the mental fortitude you have when you sit down at your desk. You'll be able to complete the work without hindrance or faltering because you see yourself as productive based on this sheer stack of proof. So I want to leave this video with 4 actionable steps from the concepts we've been talking about. Go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week and train hard. Build these mental calluses, build this mental strength based on your body. The body is the representation of the mind, so don't let yourself falter. Don't let your mental image be tarnished in your mind. Make yourself look productive. Number 2, meditate for 10 minutes every day. improve and progressively overload this skill, compounding success in the long term, because you'll be able to focus for longer. You'll build this internal mental strength to dial in on the work you need to complete and avoid distractions. Number 3, at least learn 2 hours a week, or whenever you have a spare chance, watch an educational video like this where you're constantly learning in your spare time, and your prefrontal cortex, your ability to focus, will increase as a result of the extra effort you're putting in towards learning and using your brain. The more you use it, the better results you'll have, and then therefore it'll correlate to an actualization of extra focus and effective productivity in your work. You'll be able to sit down for longer and do work for longer because you're constantly absorbing this information and learning and focusing on learning, which will then expand your prefrontal cortex ability to consistently maintain focus. And finally, number 4, be consistent. Have a streak, have a habit tracker, have something on your wall where you can tick it off. I've completed 10 minutes meditation today. I've completed 10 minutes meditation today. I've been to the gym today. I've been to the gym today. I've been to the gym today. Until you have this stack of proof, this self-accountability with yourself, where your image changes. You see yourself as productive, and that will increase the mental strength you have as a result, therefore. I hope you found this useful. And if you're looking to get more help from me, the top link in the description will take you to a meeting page where me and you can have a meeting, and I can turn you from lazy to productive using the same tactical techniques and strategies that have changed my life forever. I wish to see the same results in you. And here's the kicker: if you leave this session with me without an actionable step to become productive and actualize this effective, productive energy in your life, then I will give you 100% of your money back if you leave this session without an actionable step to become productive. Thank you. I look forward to helping you help yourself. Subscribe.